In this video, I'm going to show you how you can completely automate pulling open jobs by using Google to then find the decision maker, find their email address, filter out any companies that you don't want to reach out to, and then write personalized snippets and lines based on the job description, and then push that to your sending tool. Now, you can also set it up so that you're pushing this to a CRM, you're pushing it to an inbox where, for example, you want to be able to monitor like new open jobs that come online. I'm going to walk you through the entire step-by-step workflow of how we do this for our clients, recruitment client. I'm using an example here from one of the campaigns or projects that we have set up. So the way that this works is we have basically 3 steps or 4 steps, essentially. The first step here is the top layer. So this is an overview. This is basically pulling the data from Apify. Apify is a data scraper that allows you to scrape lots of different websites online and so on and so forth. Now, in this particular case, we've just configured it so that it scrapes Google open jobs for specific keywords. So every single one of these is a different keyword that we're scraping. So you can see here, for example, project manager, commercial manager, director, and so on and so forth, site supervisor, etc. Right? So we are scraping this information from Google Jobs. You can then obviously set the location. So in this case, we're obviously doing we're doing UK, but you can also do different countries around the world. We've also done a huge project with a German recruitment firm as well, and basically help them completely automate pulling all open jobs from the specific keywords that they were looking for. Right? So once you have configured this section here, this is your data input, this is your data source, right? This is where the data comes from. This then pulls into Clay. So Apify separate, it pulls into Clay. Once it pulls into Clay, we then start using Clay's features to be able to enrich information, filter companies out that we don't want to reach out to, find decision makers, find their email addresses, verify their email addresses, and then do anything else that we could possibly want. In this case, writing a personalized snippet line, essentially, and then push that to whatever data source, whatever endpoint that you want. It could be CRM, inbox, so on and so forth. Like I said, in this case, instantly into campaigns, right? So I'm going to show you how this might work, and this can work for any different industry. I'm just showing you here, for example, with a contract recruitment firm that we have as a client at the moment. So first things first. So all of these things down here are all the different open job roles, basically, and then this pushes into one final people table, essentially. So I'll show you what that means in a sec. So first, the data is pulled from Apify. So if you click in here, you see all of the data that you pull in. So via where it's from, the open role, the location of where it is, the application link, company name that's hiring, description, and so on and so forth, right? So you get all this info. The only thing that you don't get, unfortunately, is a website or domain, which is really useful because that then allows us to find the email addresses and also find the people that work at that company that is hiring for that role, right? So you can see here, we just assigned it into different columns, about location of the job description, application link, and you can see in the application link that it's pulling jobs from all sorts of different sites. So you can see here like a careers website, LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Simply Hired, so on and so forth, right? And then we've got the open jobs and where it was found, and then we've got the company name. Now, this is where Clay comes in really handy, because what you're able to do is now find the domain from the company name. So they have a feature that allows you to find the domain from the company name. So if you just have a list of company names and you're like, I need their websites, I need their information, you can then pull in find domain from company name, and it'll do 2-step enrichment, so waterfall. So if it doesn't find it on Clearbit, which is this first step, it will try and find it on Google, right? And it will pull it. Now, it does have a degree of inaccuracy, which is why we have another step here. Using AI. So once we pull that into this column here, that's final domains, we'll basically do a company domain check. So we essentially prompt AI to say, is the name of the company here included in the final domain, right? Because sometimes what happens is it will, and this has obviously got a filter, so all of these are correct, but sometimes what will happen is it will have a name of a company and it will output something completely different. And sometimes it just gets it wrong. So here is a fail-safe, or not fail-safe, but a way to basically work around that. Again, the accuracy is not still 100%, but it's pretty high, and it means that you don't need to manually, or you can manually go and check in to start, but then after that, after you set up the automation, it can just run, and you would just need to vaguely monitor it here and there. So that's the first step. We find and just make sure that this is matched to this, basically, or as close to as possible. So it is here as exact match, but we don't want them to be like completely different, right? So that's the first thing. The next thing is we also check if they are a recruitment company or not. Obviously, we're working here on behalf of a recruitment company, so we don't want to be reaching out to other companies that are recruitment companies. So we have a filtration step here, which is basically prompting AI to use the company's domain, go and check out the website, and then based on checking out the website, understand, is this a recruitment company or is it not a recruitment company? If they are not a recruitment company, then they move to the next step. If they are a recruitment company, they get removed from the entire process, right? So that's really, really important to note. And then once this is done, and we have a conditional criteria basically, so they can only go to the next step if they pass this, right? So once we've done that, I'll show you the next step. Cool. So what happens now is all of these different tabs that you see here, which is the different open jobs that we're hiring for, right? So all of the vacancies that these companies have, right? So site supervisor, site manager, etc., go into one people table. So imagine it as all of the companies then filter into one table that will then find the decision makers, right? So, and again, by this point, we've removed recruitment companies, at least 99% of the recruitment companies. And then we're going into a step-by-step here, basically, which is pulling in all of the data from the previous tables. So we've got the company name, we've got the person's name now, we've got the job description, we've got the role that the company is hiring for, the open job title, and then we've obviously got the decision maker now as well, and then their job title as well, right? So these are all job titles. We can obviously filter this. In this case, we've just put in the job titles that are most relevant to the open jobs that we're looking for, but you can also filter this so that, it's anything else that you want, basically. All of this is fully customizable. You can change it however you want it to be, but I just want to show you like an example and a template kind of thing. And then location of where the contact is based, the company's domain again, and then the LinkedIn profile. So, and you can also see here that there's a few duplicates, which means that probably the same company is hiring multiple different roles, and it's pulled multiple different people basically from that same company. Then what we do, and this again is all happening automatically. So the way I think about it is a trigger. So just think about it, maybe every Sunday you can set this up so that it will pull any new jobs for the past 7 days every Sunday, and it'll then push into Clay, which means that by Monday morning you have all the jobs from the previous 7 days, and they'll automatically go through the entirety of the workflow. You can also set it up so it's on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, as often as you want. You can completely customize it twice a week, however you want it. So that's also something really important to note. Then we use a three-step process basically for finding emails and verifying the emails. The two providers that we use are Prospeo. So Prospeo is an email finder. We'll then pull the email addresses into here, and then we validate those email addresses, or the ones that are catch-alls basically. And then what we'll do is we'll then try and find the work email using Lead Magic, which is another email finder. So if Prospeo doesn't find it or doesn't find a valid email, it'll go into Lead Magic, and then Lead Magic will try and find the email as well. And that means that we obviously increase the amount of emails that we're able to find. Then we validate those emails again using Enrichment, which is just an email verification tool that allows you to do catch-all verification, which is really useful because catch-all means that you usually are able to get an extra 10 to 20%. Normally in lists or verification tools will pull that data or export and finish and verify the data, but it will come back as like risky or invalid. The ones that are risky or catch-all, that section there is what we usually just throw like all of those away because you don't reach out to them. Whereas with something like this, you're able to verify those and increase find rate by about maybe 10 to 20% is what we found. And then we pull all this into one merge column here, which is final valid emails. We clean up the job title that they're hiring for because sometimes the job titles have like a weird, like as in the open role, they're hiring they have a weird like dash and so on. Because obviously when we're reaching out, we're mentioning the job title, right? And we don't want to be like contracts manager dash, XYZ, whatever else that they put in the job title in the job posting. So we remove that, clean that up basically. And then we also use an AI snippet here, which, again, this is optional. You can do whatever you want with this, but this is how we do it. You mentioned you're looking for civil engineering degree holder with an infrastructure project management experience, right? So we're taking something from the job description, we're pulling from the job description, and we're basically asking it, analyze the job description and pull out one specific skills, experience, or anything that they are looking for that we can use, and then put that into like a sentence. Change the sentence however you want to change it, but it's just an example of how we might use this, right? And obviously you can tweak the prompt however you want to tweak it. And then the last step is we add the leads to a campaign. So these leads could be added to Instantly, to Smartly, to Lemlist, to whatever sending tool that you have. You can also then send them off to to LinkedIn platforms as well. So LinkedIn automation softwares. This is just filtered so that it's just the valid emails. But if I remove the filter, then it will be companies that people that we haven't found the emails for. And what we like to do is push the ones that we haven't found emails into LinkedIn, and the ones that we have found emails into, obviously, email campaigns. Then if you wanted to add another step, you could also add a CRM where you push it to your CRM with all the data. We can also do this on our side for you. There are lots of different things. We can actually set this up so that it emails you and sends you an email into your inbox by connecting it with Make or Zapier and then pushing it into there. So it really depends. Like, you can keep track and monitor any open jobs if you're a recruiter. Or if you're not a recruiter, you could also want to just use this as a trigger for potential outreach. So if you are targeting, for example, I have another client that is targeting open roles that are for like companies that are looking for like videographers, and they reach out because they offer like studio solutions and project solutions for like production stuff. They could reach out to those companies, or they could keep a tally of basically what kind of open jobs, and we are going to set something up for them like that. So it's just an example, but you can do all sorts of different things. It's fully customizable. You can change it however you want to change it, but the core premise is pull the input data, which is from multiple job boards, filter and enrich the companies, find the decision makers, find their final valid emails, and then use AI to create customized lines, personalized email campaigns, and then you can push it to your sending tool, whether that's LinkedIn, email, or your CRM, or however you choose, whatever the output is. So it could be go high level as well, actually. So yeah, I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.